Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Takwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS. We will well, peace, and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. And ultimately, the inspiration of this lesson today is gonna be real quick. I just seen some talking points and things regarding the situation in Iran regarding a woman, basically how Esau Edom, used that as one of the points to why he's attacking Iran, basically saying that the women in Iran are oppressed, right? And this devil has went around the whole world, turning things upside down, right, in the wrong direction, not for righteousness' sake, but for wickedness, all right? And it's a good thing to have things in order, including women, and a lot of these like Arab Muslim type countries, they have the women for the most part in some type of order where they're not out here just pregnant, out here being left to themselves, having to have a baby and do it on their own, or actually having a protection over them, right, a man to care for them and things like that, and just not out here buck wild, free as hell. Right, we see what that has caused here in the states. Women being free, and them voting for things like, and if they were so fucking free, this devil would have should allowed a woman to be president. I don't know. Maybe we might see Kamala come in there, but they ain't never do it. All right. So anyway, we've seen what them having the look that they do have has done, and it's nothing good. They voted for things that was against them, like first, they were saying, oh, it's okay for the LGBTQ community. They were happy with the men coming into sports and things like that. And now the men is taking all the gold medals and they realized there was a problem, which every sane person knew that that would be a problem from the beginning because the woman is the weaker vessel. But the woman didn't think about that before they allowed these things to happen. And then once they seen it, then it was a problem. Just like a woman could think she wants somebody, go out there, have sex, have a baby. Now she's left alone. And now she see that what she did was a mistake, but it's too fucking late. So that's why there's an order to thing, and basically this devil is going around the world telling people that what they believe to be true isn't true, and they should do it his way. And this manager is wicked, right? And he pollutes everything. They went to Africa trying to bring that LGBTQ shit over there with Kamala Harris at one point. You know, damn near tried to run her up out of there like they did IUIC with the rocks and tear gas and things. They basically wasn't having it, right? That's not it. That's not what happened, but basically they didn't want no parts of that. But that's what the devil do, right? They left Iraq. The woman got in order immediately because that's what you need to do. That's why shit's so fucked up here in America. That's why we keep saying women are gonna get back right because they have so much freedom to do what the fuck they want to do, and now they're complaining and crying about the fact that men is not dealing with them like that. Men is not even approaching them or trying to approach them because we already know what comes with their bullshit, right? And now they're seeing the fruit of their labor, and that is a problem, right? But we know that the Most High Yahweh Bashim is about to get them in order, with this collapse, where they ain't gonna have a choice, But they slowly coming around to the fact, But it's about to hit them like Mike Tyson. The brother just was talking about that. It's going to like Mike Tyson. All right, but anyway, Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Yeah, it says, lean on Yahweh Bashmi Shah, not thy own understanding. Right? Esau Edom has allowed things to happen where it's all messed up. If it was up to him, bro, nothing would be left. Right? He's trying to make it so men can have babies. Right? He's trying to make AI sex robots. He is the changing of the genders and things like that. There's no, which is all wicked, but there's even no regulation on it. Like, what if everybody just switched and changed up? Then people would just start dying off because they can't reproduce. But the devil doesn't care about that, right? The wicked of the earth. It says, woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of the Lord Yahweh, Bashem shall host, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. All right. So, they despise, the Holy One of Israel, right? They despise the law of the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Shah. All right. Let me see this in the NLT over here. 22 says, what sorrow for those who are heroes at drinking wine and boast about all the alcohol they can hold. They take bribes to let the wicked go free, and they punish the innocent. And ultimately, this is what these devils do behind the scenes. The Amalekites, run the world, and a lot of these people are bought and paid for it. That's why these rulers said, they care not who give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws, right? Because they can pay off these individuals. All right. So they love wickedness, basically. This is Revelations 17:5. It says, matter of fact, I'll just get it from one. It said the doom of Babylon. Babylon is America. Right. It said, and there came one of the seven angels that had the seven vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show you unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Which, this is going into the laws that they push forth, the policy, right? And what they're about, the morals and things like that, and the nation have been made drunk with it. And how is that? Because they went around the world pushing these things on them. Look at China. You got like the massage parlors, here in America, with these Chinese, people, offering extra services for a little extra money, and things like that. They learn, they copying after America, because that's what America pushes here, bro. You drive down the highway, you see a billboard sign, a little baddie on there, no clothes or nothing like that, Even big ass billboards promoting, come to this, basically the strip club or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Says, so he carried me away, Revelation 17:3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Right, and the woman is America, the beast is the system. Right, and these 7 heads represent, just the different, kingdoms, basically, right? It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stone and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. This is America, right? And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right, this woman is the most wicked, right? This is America. This is the most wicked place, right? With the most wicked people running that shit. This Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. He covers the faces of the judges thereof, right? He covered the faces of the judges thereof, right? If not wearing, and who is he, right? It's the wicked. Esau Edom, right? That promotes and push, everything that they got going on. This is and none of it is righteousness, right? Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Shai, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Right? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Or shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he have no understanding? And ultimately, let me get this NLT. NLT says, how foolish can you be? He is the potter, and he is certainly greater than you, the clay. So this devil tries to, do things differently, right? The Most High say up, Esau say down, right? And that's why things are the way they are. The scripture say when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, right? How foolish can you be? He is the potter, and he is certainly greater than you, the clay. Should the created thing say of the one who made it, he didn't make me? Does a jar ever say the potter who made me is stupid? Right, so the Lord Yahweh Bashan knew what he was doing when he made man and woman and told them to be joined together, and be fruitful and multiply. You don't need to, try to make men have babies, and whatnot. and the changing of genders, and all this other abominable things that this devil is doing, right? See what Micah talking about. This is Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Right, and that's this place, America. And as you can see, it's spilling out to the world. You know, just the wickedness. People, especially with the www dot, right? www dot, right? The World Wide Web and the social medias and things like that. Women around the world is looking at this place, America, and just like the scriptures say, um, and I'll read it because when John the Revelator seen this, he wondered, so how much more so these women, these weaker vessels, right? Revelation 17:6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, the Israelites, right, and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So he was like, damn, she's a baddie. Like it's, and all of that. And you're probably wondering why she drunken with the blood of the saints. What happened? A whole lot was going on. It says, "And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns." Right. So John the Revelator seen this thing, was like, wow, you know. So that's the same thing with people around the world. They look at America and they show you the good parts in the picture, get the right angles. They showing you everything that's good about it and how the woman can just be free and, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. And especially, you come into a place where, you in a place, I guess, let's just say not like America. It has more laws and things like that for you to be in order. You're not knowing that these women here are destroyed, body is messed up, the food is poisoning them and things like that. Hair don't grow, just different things happening. You don't know. You come here and now you all messed up. I remember this one chick, she's still there, right? Follow her on TikTok. She's from Russia. And she was eating the food here and she was always complaining about it. And then I seen her when she grabbed some of her own food from somewhere. Like she found a little spot, where she could get some food, and it's like food that she had from back home. And man, when she like you would have thought you gave her the world. How happy she was, just like she would, because she did a separation where she tried to eat something from America. She's sitting there, she's like, "What is this?" The color is gone, and she complained about everything about it. But then when she got her own food, she was happy as hell, right? But she's shit. She not leaving though, because you still got all the other stuff to do, but the food is bad. That's how it is. Like it's like America, you don't want to leave because it's better, but the laws, it's going to destroy you though, right? And she see that, she got to go get her own food to even like feel good, but she feel good when she's able to just do what she want to do. Micah 2:10, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." That's what's happening. Slowly and slowly, these women come here, from all these different areas around the world. They come here and they get the taste of that freedom. They start doing what they want to do, but it's destroying them. And ultimately, they end up just like the rest of women here, through kids, used up and trying to find a man at the end of it all, right? Ephesians 5:22, "Wives, right, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai." See, this is the type of order that's set up that Esau Edom don't want, right? He don't want this. He want the woman over the man, right? He want the woman to do, what they want, and that backfired on him because his woman got free and chose Jake immediately for the husband. And now you can even see it now with him putting out these different laws, trying to make the woman stay at home now and shit that was there. And matter of fact, it would have been better for the woman too. The women are complaining about working and different things like that. They had the work site mad as hell because they don't want to be there, but they want the money because they need the money to be free and independent of a man, right? So they can go out there and do their own abominations and things like that. So that's the cycle, so they upset about it, whatever the case may be. It says, "For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahweh Shai is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body." Right. So this is marriage like Yahweh Shai in the church, right? So, you using husband and wife here, it goes beyond that to Yahweh Shai in the body, the church, right? He's the bridegroom, right? And we're the bride, the body. Says, therefore, as the church is subject unto Yahweh Shai, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything, right? Husbands, love your wives, even as Yahweh Shai also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy without blemish. So the word is cleansing us, right? The word is making us new, right? By coming back to who we are, learning about Yahweh, Bashim Shai, right? It says, so ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. You of course you don't care for your woman, right? You don't love the woman, take care of her, make sure she's good and all of that. It says for no man, and that's what we expect from Yahweh Shai. We expect it inspected in, right? Expected in, for the things that we're doing and everything that he said he would do if we did what we would do, so we expect what he said he would do, right? For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it, even as the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife. They two shall be one flesh, right? So, husband and wife are joined together. And like I said, this is going back to, just talking points around the whole situation I ran, how Esau tried to make that shit a talking point, which is just dumb, So it says, this is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Yahweh Shai in the church. So he likened Yahweh Shai in the church, right, which is the body, to a husband and wife that should be joined. The husband should care for the woman. The woman should be subject to her husband. So Yahweh Shai is going to care for his people, right? The body should be subject unto Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai the same way. Right. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself. And the wife see that she reverence her husband. See, so it says, nevertheless, even so, it goes into it basically. And this is the type of order that Esau don't want. And shoot, we're going to see what happens in the kingdom, because the cursing gonna fall on him. So he probably most likely get his wish. It says NLT. So again, I say, each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. Right. And this is love. This is the laws is mercy. All right. For us, it's love for us. And Esau, this devil don't deserve no mercy in the kingdom. But anyway, Lord, when you edify from the lesson, Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children, Shalom.